Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8. Episode 8, Scarlet, isn't that crazy? Right? Episode 8 of the Life I'm Lovin. I'm your host, Vincent. This little lady right here is, of course, the hostess with the mostest, my little Scarlet. It's been a good week. It's always a good week. Some weeks are up and down, but this has been a good week. Jen and I, with a couple friends, and Scarlet, of course, went up to the mountains. We stayed in a city called Crestline, I believe. We were hoping for snow, didn't snow, but still great ambiance. Love nature, love the trees. Big ol' squirrels. Scarlet was very intrigued by the squirrels. They were not teasing you, so don't say that. They were being friendly and you know it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Such a great time up there. It's always nice and serene. Nice to get away. Nice to be in a different environment. More calming environment. Way more quiet out there. Stars were great. Just us, nature, and a bunch of squirrels. Fun fact, we actually went up there initially for an R&R weekend, and we still got the R&R weekend, but the friends that we went with actually got married up there. They did it very low-key. It was just the 5 of us and the photographer, Scarlet being Mambo number 5 over here. Jen was the witness. I was given the opportunity, and which I humbly accepted, to marry them. So I was very blessed and honored to do my first marriage ceremony. Definitely my first time. You could obviously tell. Whenever they get a chance to tell you that story, I will allow them to tell it because that is their story that I was a part of. But it was a really great time. It seemed like they had a great time. It was a very beautiful place to get married in. So that happened this weekend. And then earlier today, I found out that Jen's little sister got a couple of awards this morning for perfect attendance and academics. Always nice to get awards in 5th grade. Shout out to you. So a lot of good news flying in today. A lot of good news flying in this week. The week went by quick. We're here. It's Friday. We're feeling good. We are feeling ready for the weekend, aren't we, Scarlet? And this week, I wanted to do a recap episode. This is week 8. So since we're now 2 months into it, I just wanted to talk about my experience doing something that I've been wanting to do for years, but just had too many excuses. Plain and simple. There was always a reason why I couldn't start this podcast. There was always a reason not to start this podcast. And so with that being said, Scarlet, would you like to count us down? Okay, fine, I'll do it. 3, 2, 1. Let's get to the episode. So I might have said this before. 2023 was easily the most impactful year of my life. A lot of things happened in my life, but a lot of things also happened in my people's lives, my friends' lives. A lot of experiences that tend to be once in a lifetime in a lot of cases. 2023 just brought about so much emotion, so much change, so much thought, so much happiness, so much sadness. I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of the things that I was not always grateful to experience, but things that really affected my life in one way or the other. You know, I lost family. My friend Eric and his spouse got married in February of 2023 in Hawaii, mind you. Great location, guys. My buddy Ed and his significant other had a baby. Awesome. So great. These are people that I love very dearly, and they're out here creating little people that I also love very dearly. Going back to Eric and Devin's wedding, that allowed me to go to Hawaii. It was Super Bowl weekend. Jen and I spent the Super Bowl in Hawaii. The Eagles played in the Super Bowl, which was huge. And we just happened to find a bar that was an Eagles bar. All of the waitresses and waiters had Eagles jerseys on. There was Eagles flags and memorabilia on the walls. It was an amazing experience. Granted, we lost, but I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, and this is only because I don't think I've ever really experienced this type of thing before, because I've never really been a fan of the Los Angeles, Anaheim, those types of things. Dodgers, yes. Baseball, nah. So I've never really had like that community in terms of my fandom. So I was very grateful to lose in a place with people who felt like they lost too. And I hate to say that because I wish we had won, but we all lost together is what it felt like. And that, my friends, is great. Losing together, winning together as a unit, it really does soften the blow a lot. It's not like you're sitting at home with a couple other people who are rooting for your downfall and then it actually happens and you're like, well, it's me against the world again. No problem with that, but losing with a bunch of people who are just as pissed off and quiet as you are, you gotta try it. If you guys are fans of teams that aren't in your general area, I really urge you guys to find a bar or some sort of restaurant that loves your team, that really supports your team. The owners maybe are from Philadelphia or from Cleveland, what have you, and they have all of this memorabilia all over the walls. If you guys are sports fans, go to a hometown bar, restaurant, or just a bar restaurant that happens to be fans of your team. Never really knew that the Philadelphia Eagles were, I found this out after, pretty huge in Hawaii. Who would have thought? All the more reason to go to Hawaii though. So, Jen, maybe we should go to Hawaii more often. Okay, Scarlet, moving on. Kai and his significant other's wedding was in June of 2023, and I actually had the honor to be his best man as well, which was such an amazing experience. I'm very, again, honored that he chose me. And then going off of that, of course, I got to plan his bachelor party, but then I also got to have a bachelor party for my wedding, which was in September, that he got to plan. So all of these, once in a lifetime things where it's like, I'm never going to have a bachelor party again. I'm never going to get married again. Kai's never going to get married again. He's never going to have a bachelor party again. Eric's not going to get married again. Maybe Ed has kids again. Who knows? Still on par, because I love that little lady like no other. But yes, Jen and I also got married in September, and it was arguably the greatest day of my life. I just feel so grateful for all of the life that is happening around me and all of the things that are going on in my people's lives that they feel that they want to share with Jen and myself and Scarlet as well. It's very amazing. And it really does outweigh all of the negative things that went on in 2023, regardless of how bad they were. And with all of those things that happened, it didn't happen on purpose, but I was able to do a lot more public speaking this year than in years past. I made a speech at Kai's wedding. I made a speech at Jen and my wedding. I, while fairly intoxicated, said some sweet nothings to each of my people that joined me at my bachelor party weekend. Granted, I might not remember half of them, but I picked up that imaginary microphone and I went with it, people. And then when I lost my family member, I had to speak. I had to speak in front of our family, and that was difficult. But but he deserved it. Oh, Scarlet. I felt that was what I could do in that moment. I feel like the only thing that I could have done was just to talk and just say what I felt. He deserves that. And so whether happy or sad, 2023 made me talk a lot. Sometimes I wanted to, sometimes I didn't, but I did it. And so towards the end of 2023, around November, my buddy Kai started sending me videos throughout the year and things about the podcast and public speaking and, letting go of fear, letting go of doubting yourself. And in November of 2023, I was like, well, what's the worst that could happen? I've spoken at my wedding. I've spoken at my buddy's wedding. I've spoken at a funeral. Where else can I speak that I will be more affected than in those moments? I mentioned Kai was sending me videos, specifically a gentleman named Alex Hormozy. A really cool guy, ripped, fun beard, long hair, talks about entrepreneurship. Let's go. Not someone that I'm like, okay, I want to be 1000% like this guy, but I like the things he says. I like how he says them. And so I watch his videos a lot, his little reels on Instagram, just to hear what he's saying. Sometimes I'll watch him a couple times and trying to instill it into my everyday life. Sometimes I'll listen to it once and just keep scrolling. But right before I started recording, I got a video from Kai, and it was Alex Hormozy. And it was all about me being the niche. That's what Alex was saying. He said, you are the niche. What he means by that is, he mentioned Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan likes, aliens and working out and, this and that and this. I don't really listen to Joe Rogan very often, but he was just using him as an example. Listen to the things that Joe Rogan talks about. Just very outlandish stuff, but it's stuff that he likes, stuff that he is passionate about. He brings people on that he wants to talk to. You are the niche. Not everyone is just going to be into one thing. So just talk about the things that you're good at. Talk about the things that you're passionate about. You'll like what you're talking about, which means more emotion, more passion will come out of you. And then over time, people are going to be like, hey, I'm into football, Pokemon, dogs, life, overthinking as well. I'm going to give this guy a shot. And that's when I reel him in, Scarlet. Okay, that's when we reel him in. You are so sassy sometimes, I swear. And that's what really just pushed me to just go. Just start recording. So I believe it was November 10th. I got off work, it was a Friday. And why I post these on Friday specifically, when I first started recording, I was doing them on Friday. I would get off work and I was just feeling good, Friday vibes, you get off work, it's the weekend time. I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So that's my weekend, of course, the Saturday, Sunday area. And I got off work around 5:30. Jen was working late. She's like, I'm going to be home in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, I have a little time. I was just using the recording app on my phone, on my iPhone. And I stood up and I pressed record and I just started talking. And I was talking about how I don't know where this is going to lead. I don't know what's going to become of this. This is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm scared of doing it. Thanks for listening. And it was 20 minutes of me just venting to my phone. And I sent it to a couple people, like maybe 2 or 3. I know Kai and Eric, and then another buddy of ours who had pushed me to do it a couple months prior as well. And after my first recording, Kai sent me a Alex Hormozy video, and the caption was, "How to grow an audience if you have 0 followers." How thoughtful. Little did he know, I already had at least 1. The guy sending me a bunch of videos, huh, Scarlet? Yes, I know, he pushed us in a lot of ways. You know, while I was listening to Alex's videos as well, there was just a couple quotes that really just kind of caught my attention and just made me want to keep going and keep recording and just do what I've been wanting to do for years, and just kept bringing up every excuse in the book. He said, "Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite having fear." So a lot of my first couple episodes that I hadn't posted yet were more so about, I don't want to put myself in the public eye. I don't want to put my family in the public eye. I'm terrified of that. I'm terrified of the fact that what I feel I'm good at is something that you can't showcase unless other people hear it. And I might not be good at this, but it's what I think. It's what I've been told a few times. And I'm gonna be honest, I like doing it. It does make me happy. I loved going through my day-to-day knowing that I'm gonna record. It made me want to stay in a good mood throughout my shift so that I was ready for this. And whether you're good at something or bad at something, if it's something that makes you feel positive, that you want to do more of, that is beneficial to yourself and the people around you, hopefully, I don't know, then keep doing it. Right, Scarlet? Right. Another quote. "You can't lose if you don't quit." And that had a lot to do with my resolution for the year. My New Year's resolution. I didn't really have much that I wanted to accomplish this year, but the one thing I did want to do, and Alex Hormozy did help me do this, like, don't set a actual goal, like I want to do 100 episodes, something like that. Something that may cause you to stop, because once you get to 100, then you might want to take a break. My goal is just to keep making episodes every week. It was just to keep going. Hopefully I get better at this, and if I don't, then at least I'm still doing something that I like to do. And like I said, I'm not 100% like this guy. I don't have any interest in being 100% like Alex Hormozy. But the man seems like he really enjoys his life. And he says things that do help me figure out how I want to live my life. So shouts out to you, Alex Hormozy. You're a good guy. Maybe one of these days I'll do the school games. You guys look him up and look up the school games. It's a really cool concept. He's helping people become entrepreneurs. Not at that level yet. I don't think I'm an entrepreneur yet. I don't think I'm at that realm. Scarlet, you started the school games already? You've already made $5,000 and you're not sharing? Well, I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear any of that. So that first episode I made I called it the prequel because it was the beginning of who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go. Why now? Why I didn't start before? What I was afraid of, putting myself out there, not knowing what to talk about, feeling like I might be too full of myself for doing this. Now, of course, Kai sent me more quotes. Humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's increasing your regard for others. And that made me feel good because I truly think that I'm blessed with some of the best people that anyone has ever had the privilege of knowing. And I do 100% think that all of them are better than me in more ways than one. Kai got that quote from Clayton Christensen. I don't know who he is, double C, but the man said a great sentence once, and I can't help but give him credit for it. I can't take credit for that. That wasn't my quote. It wasn't Kai's quote. So Clayton Christensen, this one's for you. He also sent another quote. Humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. C.S. Lewis. I know that guy. I know he wrote some sort of book. Frindle, maybe? I don't know. Not a reader. But since that day, since November 10th, 2023, I wrote it down in my notes. Look at me go. After I recorded the first episode for 26 minutes and 42 seconds, every Friday afterward, I would get off work, I would close the door, I would keep Scarlet with me because even up until I'm recording this now, she gives me comfort. Like if she wasn't here and I was recording by myself, I'd feel really weird. And initially when I started recording, I had background music that I played in the background while I was recording. So I would put my phone up close to the television speaker and then bring it away as I started talking. Now with the Spotify for Podcasters app, I record in silence, which was also very unpleasant at first. And then the soundtrack goes, once I'm done editing, I add it on at the end. But Scarlet would be in here and I would bring her toys in and we would talk. And sometimes I would talk to her, sometimes I would talk to my phone, sometimes I would talk to whoever I am talking about. And every week I just got a little more excited to do that. And every week I think I got a little more comfortable doing that. Each week I made an effort to add one more person. Every week I would send it to one more person, my recordings. So initially I was sending them via email because I couldn't send them through text because the attachments were too large. And then I got smart and I got a Dropbox. And I would send the Dropbox to everyone. They would have all the episodes in the Dropbox up until the app, of course. And I just loved doing it on Friday nights. I loved getting off work. I loved being ready for the weekend. And I felt like I was ending on, personally, a productive note. Even though, again, this is just me talking, me doing something that I enjoy, me doing something that I hope is appreciated by others, and I hope others get something from this. But in a huge way, this was just a way for me to vent and express myself and express the things that I love. And again, hoping that other people listen to these and it makes them do what they want to do and what they love and feel better about life not being so easy all the time. After every episode, I would reach out to those handful of people and I would ask for feedback, of course. How much did I suck? What could I do better? What little piece of this 30-minute recording did you probably like? Because you probably hated 29 minutes and 45 seconds of it. But there's probably at least 15 seconds that you might have enjoyed. Now, my friends being my friends, and I was really appreciative of the feedback that I was getting. My buddy Matt Ing from up north, I met him when we were in college at San Francisco State. I was in the BECA program, Broadcast Electronic Communication Arts. Very short name, I know. But we were a duo, Matt and I. And for a good year, couple semesters, I, and a buddy of ours, Dave, shouts out Dave, did a radio show once a week. And that was so much fun. We did sports radio, of course. You know, we would come in with our laptops and we would talk, and we would have the lights down because we were super hip with all the blue lights from the tech around us. And we would have, you know, the little slider things to bring out one person, bring in one person, this and that. And as you know, as you can tell, I'm really great with technology. I know what everything is, you know, the microphone, of course, the mic stand, obviously, and then, you know, all the other things. But he tells me to this day that I sound natural. It sounds like radio. It sounds like back when we were in college, just you being you. I love that. I don't want to sound anything less than authentically yours truly. Shouts out to Matting, huge shout out to Matting. He designed my logo. I sent him some drawings that I made on Post-it notes. I was like, hey, what are your thoughts? And he's like, dude, I have this one thing on my laptop that allows me to create logos. I got you. Didn't even have to ask. He just like, let me do this. I got you. Sent me a logo, you know, went back at him like, hey, you know, this is what I had in mind. This is what I'm thinking. Sends me another one. Dude, this is funky fresh. And I tried to do like a nice unveiling. I posted on Instagram and I was like, you know, big news coming in 3, 2, 1. And before I posted it, I sent it back to him and I said, hey, put your initials here. You get all the credit in the world for this. I'm very grateful for you. You know, you got the little ME on the bottom left side. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Great signature. Very down to earth. I can't thank him enough. Next up, I got another Matt on deck. Matt Cevallos. That's funny. They both like baseball, and I used on deck. On deck, Matt Cevallos. Always been a nice guy. Always been very communicative with me about the podcast. Back when I was still recording for the Dropbox and for the email, one of the things that he mentioned is it sounds like you're talking to people, specifically, like through the recording. It sounds like you're talking directly to someone specific. So set up the story so that we know who you're talking about. Look what I just did, Matt. I just set up the story before you, and now I'm setting up the story to talk to you. Look at that. Look how that works. Sorry, Scarlet, I got excited. I didn't know I did that. That was really fun. And Matt Cevallos is also someone who mentioned doing a little sprinkle of a slogan of some kind at the very end, which after he, Jen, myself, and Matthew's significant other had dinner, I was like, okay, you know what? Challenge accepted, my friend. Challenge accepted. So Matt, let me know if the end of this podcast is not very good, because that's on you, buddy. Moving on to the E's. Got my boy Ed, the one who I mentioned earlier who just had a baby with his significant other back in March. She's about to turn a year old. Isn't that crazy? Time be flying these days. After I posted the logo, Ed wants hats and t-shirts. He wants to rep my podcast. He also said that you can hear when you're talking about something that you care about. So ladies and gentlemen, all I do is talk about things I care about now. Shouts out to you, Ed. Eric, the second E, He actually apologized for taking a while to listen to my second episode that I sent him in November of 2023. After he listened to it, he sent me a paragraph of kind words about the episode. These people, man, I don't understand how I just got reeled in with this group of people that are so sincere, honest, willing to support their fellow homie. It's weird. You know, it's like your friends actually love being involved in your life and cheering you on. They didn't have to send me a paragraph. They didn't have to give me honest feedback. He didn't have to make me a logo. He doesn't have to send me quotes. He doesn't have to rep my podcast on shirts and hats. But here they are, giving me all this support in abundance. I wouldn't say I'm the most confident man in the world, but the people around me really do make me feel like I'm capable of anything. And so I kept making the episodes every week. I didn't care if people listened to them or not. I don't care if someone says, I'm behind on a couple. You're listening, and you're letting me know if I suck. And so as much as I want to give myself credit for continuing on this journey, I'm not going to say some days. I'm not going to say I always love recording. Some weeks are busier than others. Recording takes about an hour. Editing takes about 3 hours. Arguably the most unpleasant part of this process. Editing's always been annoying to me. But I make time for it. I have to make time for it. Because it's something that we have to do. Huh, Scarlet? Yes, you're just as passionate about it as I am. I am certain of that. Everything I want is on the other side of fear. And when I'm by myself, yeah, I'm afraid. If I didn't have any of these people around me, if I didn't have Scarlet around me, I most likely would not be doing this right now. But the more people reassure me, the more I reach out to them and they reciprocate, I don't feel afraid anymore. And like I said before, I sometimes do wish that I didn't feel that this was what I feel I'm meant to do, because it scares the bejeebers out of me. But I love it. It makes me feel like I'm giving the best thing that I have to offer to this planet, to anyone who wants it. Finally. My job has kept me, Jen and Scarlet, very stable. Is it what I want to do the rest of my life? Of course not. I love playing video games. Is it something I want to do for the rest of my life? Heck yeah. Is it what I was meant to do? Questionable. I feel like this is like the first thing, besides like really serious things that I have to do, that is like up there in terms of things that I am passionate about and things that I want to do. I know I need to work out. Do I work out? Yes. Do I diet? Yes. Do I do it consistently? No. Do I diet consistently? No. And that's because as much as I enjoy the way it makes me feel, dieting is not my passion. Broccoli is not my passion. Pump and iron, great phrase, not my passion. Talking is something I can get jiggy with. Nah. Scarlet is someone that I love talking with, that I love talking to. Believe it or not, if you talk to Scarlet like one-on-one, guaranteed she can hold a conversation down. She will look at you, she will nod, her head side to side. She'll put her hand on your thigh when she feels that you need a hand on the thigh. She will gruff. She might smack you in the face when you're being too much. Am I being too much? Okay. We talk too much together now, Scarlet. I know exactly when you're going to bring the hand out. So episode 8, I feel like this is one of the episodes where I had to think the least about. Only because the cause of this episode is the episode, which is kind of Inception-y in a way, huh? Right? Okay, maybe not that much. If you guys get anything from this episode, find people that love to watch you grow. Find people that probably don't always say what you want to hear, but are coming from a place of love and honesty. Find people who will support you. And if this is the case, find them anyway. Find people that will support you at something that you might not be good at, but they can see that you enjoy. You know, if you love something, if you love doing something, if you're passionate about drawing, and someone's like, you suck, don't do that, probably not the best people to be drawing around. Find a content creator that you like what they're saying, and listen. Not everything's gonna make sense. Not everything is gonna connect to you. Some might. And it's pretty cool when they do. Because then you can use it. You can use it to your advantage. So tonight, I want you to have some great drinks, great food, be in a great environment, talk to some great people, be around amazing animals like Scarlet or the Frosted Flakes tiger, Nessie of the Galactic Alliance. Well said, Scarlet, and continue to love the life you're living. Take care.